You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another exciting midweek edition of Behind the Bulldogs. I guess they're all midweek at the end of the day. Brandon Worth, Tatum Outlaw with you. Great episode. We got some trackletes in the building ahead of a very exciting outdoor season. Can't wait to get them underway. We got the Ferris State Sports Slate as well. We'll get you up to date on all the results from this past week, as well as what's ahead in sports. And like we mentioned, Tatum, I mean, spring is in full spring mode right now, as it is snowing outside right now. Yeah. Mother Nature, catch a drift, please. Not the snow kind either. But it's a very exciting time, and we got a lot of great things upcoming.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't look like spring is in full swing, but, you know, it feels like it. But just don't look outside, because that doesn't mean anything.
Do not look outside, indeed. And we'll get to some Ferris State sports here for you. We'll start with softball. Davenport, unfortunately, gets a sweep over the Dogs. It was a tight win there in Caledonia. Davenport is an underrated team this year. Kind of got swept on in the media polls. They're starting to make their way with some wins. But this team certainly showed the bounce back. Split against Purdue Northwest in the home opener last Friday. Dominated the first game as they were projected to do so. Just unfortunate in that second game, they were just kind of stifled offensively down the stretch. But massive wins yesterday. First time we have swept the rivals from Allendale on our home field since 2010.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Been 14 years. I mean, how amazing is that?
That's insane. And, you know, I'm not even surprised. We've been saying, I think every episode now, the potential that this team has, the hard work they're putting in, that we're all going to see it. And it's being shown, you know, we're seeing it. So I'm just nothing but happy for the girls.
Absolutely. It was such a joy to see them in the dugout after that game. The hard work, you know, Coach Schumann mentioning, you know, the 9 losses this year, 7 of them by 1 run. 7 by 1 single run. This team's on the doorstep, and they're showing some great things. We have excitement for them. We have excitement for track, too. They had some great results over the weekend. Some of them at the WashU Distance Carnival. Super jealous about that. I mean, super cool. And then also Illinois State, the Redbird Invite. Some notable results for you here. We'll start with the WashU Distance Fest. Whitney Farrell, 17th in the steeplechase. Fellow steeple people with 2 thumbs up. Just killing it. Daisy England, 19th in the 800 meters. And granted, these are all, you know, elite caliber athletes they're competing against there with her finish. Hannah Brock and the 5K, I believe now top 6, I believe. Hannah, fact check me later on. 6th, I believe, in the 5K. Congratulations to her all time. Cooper Sorsen, school record to his name once again. 19.96, just eclipsed that 14:20 threshold. He is him, and he's done a great job. Very excited to see that. Over on the other side as well, from the Illinois State, looking at some 400 hurdles time, some top 5 finishes across the board, some great results from the relays. I believe one of the notable ones, Alexis Lee in the high jump finishing on the podium spot as far as conference scoring, where if it were a conference championship meet, finishing 7th. She has made her way up into the program history book, so congratulations to Alexis. And we saw some great things in the 100. Bryson Fronta, 2nd overall in the 100 at 10.82. Charlie Sutton right behind him by literally 0.05 of a second, 10.87. But some really good stuff. Top 10 finishers from Josh Langland, David Harris, both breaking 2 there in the 800. Things are starting to gum up a little bit. It's very exciting time over at the track and field. They're going to be local folks. They're going to Oakland, I believe, this weekend. You can find out FerrisStateBulldogs.com for the full schedule and more as well. And then they will be Davenport, Grand Valley, and you want to guess the last one? Grand Valley. 3 in a row. So you'll have an opportunity to see the Bulldogs running around the track, jumping over the bar, throwing, you know, fun things, you know, with the throwers that we've had on the show. So it's going to be really exciting.
Awesome to see some names getting on the board there, some records, you know. So I'm just really excited to see how this outdoor season goes. I mean, seems like they're only getting better each day.
Absolutely. Looking at tennis now, Grand Valley, unfortunately, on the top side of the victories in this building. It was a really tough go. I mean, the doubles were excellent on both sides. Singles, individually, Grand Valley came ready to play. They got 5-2 wins on both men's and women's. But the bounce back was definitely there against Davenport. Looking at the final tallies, 4-3, a tight one. Davenport played really well, able to get it on the men's side. Women's side take care of business, 5-2 margin. And then as well, the women's take down Saginaw Valley, 4-3. And it just goes to show, lost a lot of seniors from last year on both sides. These teams are just rebuilding. They're rebuilding, they're reloading, they're ready to go. And the conference is getting better in tennis. It seems like we talked to Coach Doran every single year. This conference is getting better at tennis, but we're remaining on the top. And that's some good work over at the Racket Center from that team.
Especially following up after, playing GV and having a loss when you've been fighting hard, to be able to come back and win the next couple games is what's important. So especially the games with the teams that are closest to us, it just hits home a little bit harder. It's just a little bit more personal. So to see them come out on top, nothing but proud of them.
Nothing but proud of them. They're going to be in action as well coming up. We'll get you to that after the interview we have here coming up in just a minute. But first, the final sport for you here to recap results. Golf finishing up at the Findianapolis. Whoever came up with that name sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. But really good results across the board. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. I mean, the Bulldog women finishing, I believe, 4th out of the overall field. And then the men's were right in that 8th range. Really good results considering the opponents that they were playing. Conditions were obviously here in the entire Midwest, they've been nothing but just an absolute coin flip the last couple of days. So battling through the rain, still putting together some good performances. The cold as well. Mother Nature has not been kind in temperatures, but good overall results. Cameron Shannon finishing 12th overall individually with a 230 total. Kylie Walker finishing 15th, as well as Ashley Tomsma. Hopefully I said that correctly. 19th place. Men's overall finisher McCoy Badjuli there leading with a 13th place finish, followed by Sam Havey in 14th and Cole Putnam in 20th overall. So those are the top 3 individually. You can find out more as well online with the articles if you want the full recap. And finally, before the interview, I want to say a quick shout out to Brett Riley, our newest coach here on the Ferris State coaching staff. Welcome in. Our new hockey coach just had his press conference on Monday, and really excitement, young, passionate energy on the ice. And it's definitely going to be hard to replace a man that's meant so much to this community like Coach Daniels. But really excited to see what the program's going to do this offseason under some new leadership. It's not really necessarily a replacement. It's a refresh coming up for this team. It's very exciting to see.
And I think he's a very different coach than what we've had previously. So it totally is a refresh. And I'm just really excited to see where he brings this team. I mean, it's going to be a new team too, pretty much. I mean, new coach, new style. So I'm just really excited to see where the program goes.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. So with that, without further ado, we'll get you to the events coming up here after our great interview. Got a couple track leads standing by, some of my close friends here from the track team. So without further ado, let's run into the interview.
Let's do it.
Now joining us here in the interview room, we went off site for this episode, Tatum. We went to a rental car lot. Did you know that?
What?
We got both of the Vans here. Gavin VanSolkema, Lucas VanDam. Guys, welcome to the show.
Good to be on.
I had to start off with a joke.
How long were you planning that one?
3 minutes.
Wow,
give or
that was
take.
Impressive.
Yeah, give or take. Guys, welcome to the show. I know it's a very exciting time. Outdoor is in the swing of things. You finally get to actually breathe again in racing form. What's the most exciting thing on deck here meet-wise, and what are you guys looking forward to about this outdoor season?
I'm actually looking forward to having some better weather. Last meet was not great at all. I don't love indoor or outdoor, because of that. But
being able to be on the track and do workouts, I think, is just huge for us. I know it's not as much the racing side of things, but it carries over into us being able to race well. A lot of times for indoor, we were on the treadmill because the weather was bad. We were on the track at the rack, which wasn't the best. So being able to be on the full size track is actually huge for being able to run faster for outdoor.
For sure.
I gotta know, coming from a non-runner, and I see you guys running all the time everywhere. What's the mindset like, and how do you go about running like during bad weather? Because it's got to happen at times, and you've got to keep training above all else. Like, what's the secret? I don't know how you guys run in the rain. I don't know how you run in the snow. Like, what goes into that?
Running in the rain is actually, you just got to get wet, and then once you get into it, then it's fine.
Do you slip and fall ever? Like, I gotta know.
On the ice, yeah.
Because I'm so clumsy.
There's a long run this year where I definitely slipped and fell a couple times, but you just get back up and keep running.
Yeah.
We do fall. We just don't tell people.
That's just how really it goes. Nonchalant.
No. Don't tell anybody. We're the most athletic people on planet Earth. No, I'm just kidding. Gavin, how about you?
I would say, the same thing with Lucas. Being able to run in a group of guys is way better than running by yourself. This past weekend, it was downpouring. I got stuck in the storm doing long run by myself, and that was bit grueling, having to go up Michigan the last mile of the long run.
I'm sure it feels nice though to have a little bit of a cool down,
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Running in the rain is an enjoyable thing as long as it's not downpouring and you can, see what's in front of you.
Or cold, or like when you're on the track and someone's flicking the water in your face.
That is very true. People don't know about that. It is a dangerous thing. Yeah. But when it comes to the excitement of travel, right? I know a couple guys going down to Missouri to watch you. Really exciting stuff. A lot of fun indoor meets as well during this past season. What's the most enjoyable part about the travel aspect of the sport?
I like hanging out with the guys. We went to the Redbird Challenge in Illinois this past weekend. The bus ride was a little long, but just getting out to hang out with the guys for that extended period in time is always a good thing.
Joke around, mess around. You're not too serious about racing until the day of. So the day before, you can kind of just mess around with each other. It's kind of fun seeing different places. We're driving through the middle of nowhere, making jokes about anything, I guess, is fun.
Any specific games you play? Because I'm from Central Illinois and I know the drive is quite boring. So I know you guys are getting creative with the games.
We don't technically play a ton of games.
Really.
Wow. That might be a first.
It's a different kind of bus ride. I will say that.
Yeah, there's always at least euchre brought up like once at least.
I do love me some euchre, but
Lucas is a very good euchre player.
But we don't play a ton of games. We just talk with each other, and
I love that.
We have good combos.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Bringing up stuff we did in our run, I think, is hilarious sometimes.
Sometimes it gets a little redundant, though.
Yeah.
That is very true. That is very true.
More things to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. You never know what you're going to see on a long run. There's no doubt about it. We even ran in some really interesting places too along our way. What's the most interesting run that you've had in your memory? Long run, could be recovery run by yourself with teammates. What's been that most memorable run that you're like, yep, when I leave here, I'm never going to forget that one?
I think it's hard to pick the runs apart because we always do the same routes. I can't tell you how many times we've done Riverwalk or Industrial or I don't know if I have one off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Okay, all right.
When we went to Bucknell last year, Beworth, you probably remember that park we ran in when it downpoured.
Oh, yes.
And the river was flowing, and we were running down the hill, and I slipped and fell in my jacket, and I got mud all over myself, and I went in a puddle and wiped the dirty water off just to wash the mud off myself.
I remember that, and I believe Cooper had a brand new shoes. Might have been that weekend, too.
Mm-hmm.
He did not survive the whole trip, so... That's unfortunate, to say the least. That's a good memory, though. There's been some Bucknell runs where it's just like you're running in the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you just see this pop-up diner, like out of nowhere. You'll run through fields, and then it's just like, oh, hey, here's a little mom and pop, sandwich shop, just in the middle of nowhere. But, that's just how it goes, I guess. So when it comes to the overall season, right, you guys have been improving over the last, couple months, especially. What's been the team dynamic as far as, the excitement of the season of outdoor, not really being able to compete at a championship level coming up here at the end of the season?
Reflecting on how indoor went, we ended up scoring the most amount of points at the GLIAC meet than we have in, some 30 some years or something like that. Looking at how like the sprints have improved and the throws and the jumps and all that. I'm personally excited about what we can do. It's the way that the team has progressed over the past couple of years, and it's really exciting to see how far this team can go.
Yeah, for sure.
Just bouncing off what you said, I think it just keeps compounding like our excitement, and like the overall team morale is like we're all on the same page. Like we want to get better, we want to win, like we want to just keep progressing and getting better, even if it's like the small things like a workout, one race, like it adds up over time. And now like over our past few years, you can definitely see the progress of where we were at freshman, not only like ourselves, but like where the team is at and how we feel now leading the guys. So
for sure.
This is a little bit of a loaded question. It's a little bit up in the air, but you had just talked about all the progress that you guys have made throughout the years and even throughout the season. What went into that? I mean, what was the big change or the little changes that made you guys progress so much?
Really, it's just the little things. I mean, you can show up and do workouts and get all your runs in, but it doesn't matter if you don't, stretch, get your nutrition in, go to the weight room and be intentional about what you're doing. Sleep is a big one.
Yeah.
Hydrating, drinking enough water, planning for the races. Like if we know it's going to be hot, making sure we're drinking a lot of water, getting the electrolytes in. So
I think another big part would be like mental preparation, especially for the longer distances. I mean, I run the 800, so it's 2 minutes on the track and I'm off.
Yeah.
But like some of like the 5K guys, they're on there for 14, 15, 16 minutes. And so just being able to prepare yourself to be on for that long is a huge step too.
Cool.
For sure. Running is a very redundant sport. You run in circles most of the time. Sometimes you're fair enough where you might be running only half of a circle. But what is it that you use to, go out on a daily run, maybe by yourself? Some tunes that you maybe blast along the way. What are some of those go-to artists in your Spotify bag?
I do not listen to music when I run.
No, not at all.
Oh my gosh.
I live in the middle of nowhere on dirt and hilly roads. And if I have something in my headphones, who knows? Because there's idiots that try and run up on you or whatever when they're driving.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so in the middle of nowhere, you always have to be cautious about what you're listening to.
All right.
Or your surroundings.
For sure. I know Gavin's got some in his bag.
Yeah. Hot take. I normally don't listen to music, as controversial as it is, when I run, unless I'm on the treadmill inside. Like when I do a few workouts this winter.
Yes.
Definitely got the earbuds in, bumping some music.
What's the go-to?
Oh.
Or maybe a artist, or maybe two.
Anything just fast-paced music. I feel like if it's got like a good beat, like you can play some good rock music, a little pop, a little rap, something.
Do you guys know Tame Impala? And I brought this up the last time we had runners on, and she came up to me and said she tried listening to Tame Impala while she runs.
Oh, really?
It's changed her life. So
wow, look at that.
You guys should try listening to Tame Impala when you run, and it makes the runs go by faster. Because I personally hate running, so when I do, it makes my runs a little bit more enjoyable.
No, for sure.
So I've been putting people on to Tame Impala. So
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
For sure. Go to pre-race food. I know this is a highly debated one in the running community, myself included.
Breakfast or dinner?
How about both?
Okay.
How about both? We'll start with dinner.
Pasta with some sort of chicken or vegetable with it too, like a salad, broccoli. That's always what I've been doing the last 8 years probably before races.
You don't even realize you're doing it anymore. Yeah. It's programmed.
Yeah. All right, VanDam.
Yeah, carbs is the go-to, so pasta. If I were to do like breakfast, my go-to would be like a bagel of peanut butter. Okay. Or like I recently got into like Go-Go Squeeze apple juice, like those little pouches.
Oh, interesting.
I gotta stay away from those. They're just way too good. I could probably eat like a whole box in a day.
Yeah. It says made for kids.
No, they're definitely for like in between races. It's like the perfect snack to like go in between.
Yeah, applesauce. It's wonderful. Gavin, I think we got to get to breakfast.
Normally I don't eat a whole lot. I try to just eat like a banana. It also depends on when my race is. Usually just eat a banana, try to get a good bowl of cereal in. Sometimes I'll bring my own Honey Bunches of Oats or Honey Nut Cheerios. Because the hotel breakfast is either hit or miss. So
it's always
you never know what.
Probably a miss.
Yeah.
It's probably usually
definitely.
A miss.
Most of the time it's a miss. But
shifting gears just a little bit, I want to hear your guys' background with sports and running, and basically like what other sports did you play growing up? What led you to running? What made you decide you wanted to run in college? Just a quick little timeline of that.
I played a lot of soccer growing up. I did some league when I was in elementary school and before. Going into like 5th grade, I ended up joining like a run club or whatever. And I was one of the top guys. I ended up running a 5K then. And my mom was like, yeah, let's sign you up for cross. And so 6th grade since I've been running. High school, I did get into like some volleyball. Cool. Just some, little more plyos or whatever to get into it. But I've gotten shorter as the years have gone on. I was running like the 2 mile in like 6th grade or like middle school, like in general, but now I'm like mid D running the 8 and the 4. So I've gotten shorter as the years go on.
I thought at first you're talking about height, and I was like, you're taller than me. That doesn't make sense.
No, shorter distance wise.
That makes more sense.
That's why I was like, huh?
Yeah. All right, Gavin, how about you?
I grew up similar background, playing soccer as a little kid, pretty athletic. I played basketball through middle school. And then when I was in middle school, I played tennis too. So dual sport athlete. Never did cross country in middle school, but our high school, we had meeting, like group together workouts in the summer with the high school team that they would lead the middle schoolers. And I was like the top little kid back then doing that. So that led me to want to go into running cross country in high school and then track. And then led me into running in college now.
It takes being the best one to be sick with it sometimes. Like as a kid, like it's like, oh, I'm really good at this, but I keep doing it, For
sure. The other side of student athlete, what are you guys studying and what do you hope to be an occupation down the road?
So I am studying information security and intelligence, concentration in digital forensics. And so my goal was FBI, but now I'm kind of just leaning toward law enforcement in general, like Michigan State Police, or I'm from Kent County. So, or like something like that.
Okay. So if I need a car, theoretically under my name, you can make that happen, right?
Potentially.
That's good to know. Anyway, Gavin, how about you?
I got a degree in construction management, actually graduating here in a couple weeks in the spring. So got a job lined up. So I'll be a project engineer, traveling, going around. So staying on the job like for a year or two whenever it's done, and then moving around to the next job, and just being able to see the country is what I was looking forward to. So, but eventually I want to move into owning a construction business and real estate, and like building buildings and leasing the buildings out to people too. So
nice. Are you going to be carrying the 2x4s, or are you telling whoever it is to go pick up the 2x4s?
Bossing people around, not doing a whole lot of manual labor, but we definitely have to get used to getting our hands dirty and getting our boots on the ground, as they call it. So
wonderful.
Cool. Someone asked me this the other day, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. How has being a student athlete translated, or how is it going to translate into your work life once you're done with college and sports?
I think the biggest thing is dedication, if I had to find a word, or consistency is another thing too. Mm-hmm. I'm not an early bird to say whatever. I'm much a night owl, but just being able to get up when you have to, and like being able to show up and do what you're told, I guess. But
yeah,
for sure.
I think it's like what you were saying too, all those things. And like what we talked about earlier, like doing like the little things, like we pay attention to the small details because those add up over time, even in like our professional life, like with work, like making sure we're paying attention to small details and stuff, and like submitting good work to whoever it may be. But it's the same thing when like we run, we have to care about all the little things. We can't just care about nutrition or lifting. So having a well-balanced, I guess, professional and athletic life.
For sure. Well, fellas, it's great to have you on the podcast. Last question, though, before I let you out the door. Ask everybody that we have on the show, what's your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State and being a Bulldog?
I've listened to the podcast many, many times, so I know it's kind of cliche, but it's the people.
Okay.
I love my teammates, just how we interact with each other and how we can joke around with each other. And it's like the community too, showing up for each other's events and stuff like that too.
Awesome. Gavin, how about you?
Agreed. I think the atmosphere is really great between football winning national championship. It carries over into the weight room, having Dom and Haynes hype us up and get us all riled up, which is a good thing.
Shout out.
Yeah. All the teams, I guess, supporting each other, showing up, showing encouragement, which is huge for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on to the show, and enjoy the van ride to the next meeting. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Big thanks to the Vans for joining us on the show. I was really disappointed in my joke, honestly. I thought it was going to play over better. It turned out okay, but maybe there's a retailer, car dealership we can hit them up with, some NIL for these guys. I mean, I know they're upperclassmen and they're on their way out, but, it seemed like too good of an opportunity that was well wasted.
I thought it was clever. I'm just not the best at picking up on jokes.
Sure, you have some great jokes, and there's sometimes when I tell jokes and that they're just too in-depth, way too much learning that has to be done.
Maybe a little bit. It was clever, though. It was clever.
I appreciate that. It's the thought that counts at the end of the day. Let's get you the Ferris State Sports Slate real quick before we send you on your way. Thursday, April 3rd, softball here now at home. It was originally scheduled for Wednesday. Now Thursday here at home, 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock against the Cards of Saginaw Valley, the top team in the GLIAC in the preseason polls. They're coming to town. Be there, be square at the softball field. On Friday, April 4th, we have men's tennis and women's tennis, and they have the long-awaited track for some of our athletes, the favorite trip up to Houghton to play against Michigan Tech and the Huskies. That will be 10 a.m. for the men, 2 p.m. for the women's there at their tennis facility. Saturday, April 5th, the Golden Grizzly invite for our triathletes. They will be headed to Oakland down there in the southeast part of our lovely Mitten State. And then softball will be hosting Roosevelt at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock there on Saturday right here at home once again here in Big Rapids. Speaking of being at home and softball, how about another doubleheader? Wisconsin Parkside this time. That will be 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock on Sunday, April 6th, as well as men's golf. They will be at the Ken Partridge Invitational. That's in Noblesville, Indiana. And that will be for men's and women's, carrying into Monday, Tuesday, and I believe also, wait for it, Wednesday as well. They're in tournament play. And then we also have softball at home next Wednesday, April 9th. So if you're looking for home softball and you're not getting to these games, shame on you. Opportunities literally everywhere.
Dare I say that softball is in full swing. They are just game after game after game.
That's pretty good. Not going to lie. That's better than my Van joke. But yes, it is in full swing. You know, I mean, at this point right now, we're going to have some of the most home softball games that we'll have all season. So be around. Yeah. Track's going to be coming down to town later on in the summer. Or not in the summer. What the heck am I saying? Later in the month of April. Goodness gracious. I'm already thinking ahead to where it's going to be sunny and all that. But then we also have golf. They will be coming into GLIAC play very soon. So their travel will be starting to be shorter. More supporters coming up. Tennis the same way. So it's going to be very exciting over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And as he said, I mean, get to softball while you can. They're not just going to be home forever.
All right. Yes. This is like your next 10 to 14 day flurry.
This is the jackpot here.
Yeah. I mean, you have no excuse. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
No excuse.
No excuse.
Holding you accountable.
Yep. I mean, if you're watching this, you pretty much have to go.
Shoot. I had plans that day, though. Darn it. Anyway, be sure to be there. You can follow more at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Thanks for all tuning in. Be sure, if you like the show, give us a 5-star review. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. I don't know if YouTube does reviews. Maybe that's something they can expand to. I don't know. But just give us a like, give us a follow, give us a follow on social media as well. Tatum's posting some stuff at @behind_Bulldogs for more information on the podcast and when they drop each and every week. So we'll have some great guests coming up on deck here for the remainder of the spring. I mean, we got spring football coming up. We got golf championships, tennis championships. We're going to have a lot of guests coming on the show. So stay tuned.
Yep. And see you guys next week.
All right. I guess that's the sign off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we should let the people go now.
I guess it's only right.
We'll
see you next week, though.
All right. We'll see you later.